Oh, gotcha. So sounds good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just, you know, sure that I'm bad and like out guys really want. Yeah.
I know, it's like it's a great fall.
Yes. I'll grab one for you and one for you.
Mr. has it. Are you question? What's your question? There's no oath inside. I'm sure there's no oath, and it's not stated in the document. It's just not stated. So, no. So staple the other pages together. Put the oath back in your
All right.
then you'll need the ballot to duplicate the one. Okay, and to 27. Yeah.
I think it's probably on.
Thank you very much.
Do you need a what? Great. I mean, you're done with the shot. Okay. And then what, are you picking a break or?
No, seriously. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Now you have to. It's on. Time. Yes. I'm just gonna say that one of the reasons. Oh, yeah. What I do with that? Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, I guess we did that. What if Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we have, so that's what we have 36, 37, and then. That's. That's 37, you know, we have 15. If you do this one by itself, or something, then we'll.
Well.
Right, but I mean, that's a good thing. Okay. That's Well, yeah, oh, just probably they go to 5 minutes.
Okay, ladies. Let's go.
Oh.
We got 2 minutes.
No, no, it's my fault. It's good. It looks like they would be. Well, also, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm gonna. I don't know where my son with that. Because let's go get it's like it's been forever. Like I was just kind of
Oh. So you're gonna open this, right?
Okay, I go ahead and look up. I go to take a look right back with this. I think I will not go on the secret. All right, here we go. All right. So we're gonna get our dollars. Yeah. One over today is that, yeah, no. Sort of making sure that we're ready. I think we're going to step in. Like it's and that is something that for a while. And of course, there's one. What was that? Status running like where all right. Yes, all for that. Oh.
I am, hey. Remember, there are 700 places just to make sure they don't have an organized like this, they have this number, okay, yeah. 07023, yep. Well, with those, lucky you. Of course. If you got the right. 49 out of 10. Yeah, yeah. And great. But I understand that, you know, you're filling it out with 10 and then all of a sudden it's. Yeah. Or you take a break and junior steals the pen, and all you have on pencil. So it's. That needs to be filled in. Yeah, that's not something. That one too. One less thing that has to be. I know that they'll get scanned though. The one thing I love about the absentee ballot process, I get a text when we receive, we sent your ballot, and then I get a text, we received your ballot, and then I get another text, we counted your ballot. So it's like, okay, so 5 of those, back to you. Oh, 12, yeah, you wrote it 12.
Oh, yeah.
That's why 21 is my favorite, so I can remember. Yeah, you did, you were very helpful.
Yeah. There was so not talking about it.
She had to work. Yeah, that's a weird. So it was okay, it was voting.
Yes, for all right.
Hi.
Wait, no, that's. Good. These are close when you think they should be dark.
Hey. I know, get ready if you want to. When be done, like done. Oh, I know, yes. The donut maker. Agree with Is that a good one? Good. I didn't think it on purpose, but I wish I did. See, you're welcome.
We're getting more class, so I'm.
It'll be actually something upward. But I don't think.
You mean, there's not.
Oh, they are.
This is another good. This is.
Oh, this is. I don't care. I want to stay.
Excuse me just a second, I need the attention for a moment. We just handed out the last batch of the day. Please be diligent as you work for the rest of the day. Finish your batches. Find my colleague Jennifer on the way out to sign that you left the building, left the chaos. But thank you so much. This was a first day, this was a big day, and we tell us a lot. We will also need to collect your tax, the index, but I leave that all to Jennifer on the way out. Thank you, Jeff. I'll do the numbers, but I think around 19,000. Yeah, nothing like that. I have to do the numbers. Don't take this way.
I don't think.
Girl, walking away. Night. Hard up.
What do we do with these?
You go in the box.
Thank you. Thanks for everything.
This is okay because these marks are, they blend through. But they're over here, they're not in the. And so if there's a through in this like column, that would be bad. But this is okay. Yeah, that's okay, because it's not in the line.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Of course, there's a balance and, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we should have, yes, well, I probably gave up, I probably gave up Diane for the rest of the year. Lots of memories. Lots of.
What do you got?
Lots of. Run out by. I know. I invited him with the and it was just like, let's just. No, I also. She's probably gonna do this. Okay, but, you know. Just like. Right. I really wish that.
No
Well, it's not access that I getting out of feelings. But I'm really.
And that's the team and everything,
That's right. Oh, I see. She wanted to be the first one. Because you're next year.
Ladies, it takes.
Are one of you in a position to do that, or should I go do that? Just mute it.
Everything that you're thinking, me, stop giving me credit for what that. Alex looks at me and said, Daniel, you look so good. I'm like, stop it, man. But I do believe it. Thank you for it.
Okay. Okay.
I already knew that, but you know.
here now.
So in other words, if you flatter Daniel, he'll believe it. You know,
It's a general idea.
yeah. Understand. That doesn't work with everyone.
I know.
But you know. Okay. Okay.
David, it has the added merit of being true.
The extra added benefit. The extra added benefit of being true.
Right? Don't make Kevin jealous.
You know?
Nothing will make Kevin jealous. Even though you are imitating his hairstyle.
See, evening, what out humor, I'm here for it. What, man?
Have to find the ballot at issue.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm gonna be successful in doing that.
Well, I guess our film meeting's over.
Was excited.
No, not really. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Now, you all may not find it to be an identifying mark either.
That's okay. We tell them to send us stuff and we'll decide.
No, it's definitely a board referral, but the handwriting's as lousy as mine.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that if Kevin were to sign his ballot, we wouldn't know. It would be right in front of us and we would not know,
Okay,
other than through his testimony.
we'll see what the board decides, and then we'll go from there. This is 0406. It's a identifying mark. Please turn the camera off.
Okay, camera is off. Huh. Well, we've got two questions here. It's not just the identifying mark question. When somebody
Yes.
fills in a circle, crosses it out and writes no next to it, does that automatically mean that they're voting the other way? Or does that mean that they're not voting? Because this person, they filled in the circle, they crossed it out, they wrote no, it looks like they initialed it or something. I'm not quite sure what that is, but they did not fill in the other circle. So there's two questions. One is the ballot invalidated? And the other is what to do with this particular vote. And otherwise, the ballot is pretty clear.
That on the questions or is it on?
It's on question one. It's on question one. I mean, I will say, well, let me pass this around and people can all take a look. I mean, we know that our board has previously said that initials are not an identifying mark. Full names are. What we have not said is if it's illegible as to what it is, but it's somebody apparently giving us some signal that it's them. What do we do? Because I'm not sure it's clear, because I sure had, you could give me a list of names and I wouldn't be able to pick out which one is this person. So, but you'll see when it comes around and maybe you'll feel different. No, I'm good. Well, let me just see I'll see what my battery is. I've got an hour and 28 minutes left, so I'm good. So this is what that looks like. So,
Okay.
so we have let's start with is this an identifying mark question? Because if it is, then we don't have to worry about the rest. That's the,
Well, that's what we think, because we don't know for sure.
and it's close. It's
Close as I can find.
right. It's as close as as close as we can come. Okay, what I would call this is an attempt at a signature, but not legible. And I guess that's, that's the way I don't know how other people feel about it. I personally am surprised by what it is, apparently what the person is signing.
Well, clearly we're not signature.
Well, I think that
They're similar, but they're not.
Right.
the same.
right. All right. So the floor is open, but is that an identifying mark? And since we have, is that more like initials? Is that more like a name? Or is there some other basis on which we should decide whether that's an identifying mark? Correct.
That is what I'm basing my decision on.
That's what we've done in the past. I don't believe that there's any case law or anything along this.
Position that a full signature is an identity.
We have taken the position that a full signature is an identifying mark, but that's been when we've been able to read the name. And the question is,
Today.
right, we had one today where we could read the name very clearly. And the question is, when you can't read the name, does that make a difference? Because, is the theory, I guess, is that it could be identifying to someone. Right, but I personally don't see how this would. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I would see how that would play out. To me, this is more like initials because they're basically saying, "Yep, that was me. I crossed it out."
I just think it's so like illegible.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
you wouldn't consider it identifying.
No.
Alex, do you agree?
Yeah. Yes.
I agree, but it's not because it's illegible. I do agree because it's initials, in my opinion.
You think those are initials?
I do. Are delicious to read, but I think they're initials.
Huh. Okay.
It still means that.
All right. Either way, it's either initials or illegible. It sounds like, okay. So we do not think it's an identifying mark. Now the question is, do we think that the word no means no, I'm not voting yes, or it means I'm voting against? Because they did not fill in the circle for the against. So again, we have a filled in circle for the for, we have an X over it. We have the word no, and we have the scribble next to the word no.
Well, the no looks rather emphatic to me. They took the trouble to write no pretty large. Maybe they felt that filling in the other oval
Would make it
would make
less,
it more
yeah.
confusing, but to me, I think it's clear they want to vote against it.
Okay, do others want to add it? See it? Others want to add their 2 cents?
Yes. So to me, this is similar to what we talked about before, where we were trying to identify the X over the circle a little bit earlier. In this case, I do believe this person did not want to select for into the no's, identify that to be, but unlike last time, it's not to feel like a clear identification that they are against. Just and also I'm using some of the knowledge we got from our primaries where people have had other markations around the other option that may have been more than just circling and. So that was my.
So you're saying that, for example, we've had people who've drawn arrows or they've written the word this one or yes, and this person did not do that.
Is there any other contest that was left blank?
I believe the answer to that is
Yes.
yes. They left blank one of the school board races. They voted in 2 of the school board races. They voted in the other referenda. They voted in the judicial elections. They voted in every other race but that one and the school board contest. I have to admit that I'm kind of leaning towards Alex's position on this one. Because they X'd it out if they didn't want to vote. I don't know, the addition of the word no somehow to me makes it
Suggest ambivalence.
right. Now admittedly, we have voters who sometimes are very strongly in favor of not voting on something, but you know, that's not necessarily the rule, but I'm very torn. I mean, I don't, you know, in terms of figuring out what they're, I mean, they're clearly not for it. You know, to me, the only question is, are they, I mean, they wrote no in very large letters and in dark letters. And then, so the only question is, did they need to do more to make themselves clear? And, you know, because but I think it's a close call.
Inclined to go with Alex's position because of not only the X, but also the no. And with initials eliminated by next.
Anyone else? No? Alex, you want to make a motion?
Mr. President, I move that the board accept this ballot in full and as a vote against question 1.
Is there a second?
No, second.
Any discussion? Okay, we'll vote. Alex,
Aye.
Margie, Tina,
No.
Daniel, I vote aye. So we will count it as a vote against.
You know, it's funny. Years ago, I had a petition case. The question before the Court of Appeals, now the Supreme Court of Maryland, was whether an illegible signature can be counted for a petition.
What was the
And
answer?
one of the judges looked at me and said, Mr. Karpinski, it's with some degree of irony that you would be arguing this case.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay.
was that familiar? My gosh, Kevin, you know you've made it. When you make a comment like that.
What I want to know is, did he rule your way?
No, he did not. It's been a really good friend there.
Yeah. Well, he gave you a story, Ken. He gave you a story.
I've been in appellate ends of court with him, and every couple months he reminds me of that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, the next one is 0504. Pretty clean over there. There it is. The question is, the issue is with question 1.
Okay, you see it? Haven't tried that back way. Yeah, no, I get it. Okay. Does anyone have a motion?
You seen it, Mark?
I'll make a motion. I move that it be counted as a vote against question 1.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Daniel,
Aye.
Tina,
Aye.
Margie, Alex?
Aye.
Okay, and I vote aye. This person did what the other person didn't. They filled out, they filled out the other. Hi, how are you?
Where do we sign out?
That's a good question. I think,
right
I think it's out, I think it's out by the front door. Thank you for helping us today.
Thank you for coming. Okay. One is 1371.
Reasonable precinct.
Oh. It's hard to figure out. So it's in the appellate court of Maryland at large race involving Judge Albright.
Borrow the magnifier.
It's hard to see. And the ballot was, when I first looked at it, it looked perfectly filled out.
I cannot tell what that says, if anything.
Well, there again, there are two questions there, which is that an identifying mark? And then what do you do in terms of the,
Not if you can't read it.
heck, I couldn't see it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, someone younger needs to look at this.
That's the right one.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, literally.
well, you know, I went to the youngest. You would have qualified as younger. In fact, all of you would have qualified as younger than me,
Thank you.
you know, so.
I feel like that kind of looks like a name. Oh,
You have any guesses as to,
I wouldn't say.
I mean,
You did.
no, we're not muted. My video is on, but, I mean, I would, I'd have a hard time saying that that is an identifying mark, given that I can barely see it and I couldn't make out any letters at all.
Well, the other question is it an overvote or is it a vote one way or the other?
Right, no, I think it is I personally think it is a vote. I think it is an effort to say, I'm not voting on this way, I'm voting the other way. But, that's my own personal view.
In an attempt to cancel out the no vote and vote yes.
That is what I think it is.
Okay, that's one of the last ones.
It is.
Yeah, Boris is gonna work on that.
Can work on what?
Getting the,
Recovering our magnifying glasses?
yeah, that fun.
Shocking. Is that the voter?
No.
Oh.
It's a former Board of Elections employee that retired recently.
Okay. That's hilarious. So you found her envelope.
Well, being a good steward of democracy, she returned her ballot early.
Good for her. No, no, this is someone who retired. Okay. Anyone want to make a motion? Alex,
Move that we accept this ballot as not containing an identifying mark. And it is a vote of yes for judge at the appellate court of Maryland for Ann Oldham.
okay, is there a second? No second? I'll second it. Any discussion?
I will go along with the one identifying mark for the votes.
I'm sorry, you're gonna go along with the fact that it's not an identifying mark? Okay,
And from what I. I'm not convinced that is a.
Under the magnifier, it looked like the
Yeah,
X
that-
was on top of it.
Yeah, to me, what it looks like is somebody is initialing the fact that they crossed it out and circling the other.
That's a possibility.
And that is as good a theory as I can come up with because I can't read what the words say. So it's not like it says this one or not this one, or, you know, or if it does, I can't read that. So to me, it looks like it has a cross out. The other one, you know, the other one has, there's not a lot of, you know, there's not a lot of reason to cross it out and not cross out both of them. If it was a pre-vote, they wouldn't have marked the yes one. So to me, you know, that's the way I interpret it. But I have to say, I don't know what that says. So,
Since my theory may not be as convincing as that, I'll do it.
anyone have any other debate?
I just think it's an identity mark. I feel like I thought the same thing.
You think it's identifying mark?
I
You-
could. I feel like the
Without,
last name is-
without your ability to, I mean, do you think that you could figure out what the name is?
If I may, I think it actually might be an eight.
Well, but that doesn't answer the question.
So if I were to take the time to figure out the letters, I think I could. And to that point, I think,
I think
yes.
it's like I mean, I don't wanna say it on camera, but I think
Right.
I know what it says.
Well, I guess the options at this point are if we're going to entertain that possibility, do we have an envelope that goes with this?
Really?
I'd have to go see if I can match Montgomery.
And then the other question is, do you all want to write down what you think you saw? Because it's not an identifying mark merely by saying, oh yeah, that's what it says. It has to be identifying mark on its own.
I can correct them, but I think it says. in the
Yeah. If it matches, I'll be very impressed, and then I might even change my vote, you know, but, I mean, but to me, I couldn't read what it, you know,
I mean, it could have been French as opposed to English too. Yeah, I don't.
or it could have been a note to themselves. Because remember, we've had voters who have made commentary on every candidate on the ballot. I mean, so we don't know what it is.
Let me see. I don't think that's not enough. No, it's not.
Alex confirms.
I'm sorry?
It is.
I had civic lessons today.
I'm sorry, are you saying that it's in French?
No.
It's in English. It's actually a phrase, but it's all connected.
It's a phrase? Now,
Pray tell, what phrase is it?
yeah, I was gonna say, is it,
I just want to make sure I'm not saying it.
well, is it a phrase you can't repeat in polite company?
I'll have to say it on a Saturday and go to church on Sunday.
Got it. Okay, then that's what I was thinking of. Never mind.
Wait, I need to look at that. Wait a minute.
I thought this was about the.
I don't see it. I don't see it, but
So hopefully that's not what it is, because I see Marge is smiling over there as well.
I don't know what
You don't know what it is,
I
okay?
doubt it was a name, but I'm curious what you think it says.
So this is.
but if you'd have to go to church to, you know, I mean, you're gonna go to church anyway. So I guess there's no harm done if you tell us what it says.
Like Saturday. Oh, you found it?
Yeah, that looks like it.
Wow,
Yes,
that's it?
that last name looks like it for sure.
I think.
Yeah,
Yes. but-
Kevin is good. Kevin.
Margie is single-handedly changed the course.
Thanks, Marjorie.
Huh,
Hmm. And it's confirmed my suspicions about what I thought the name was.
interesting. Okay, so we've had an illegible name, now we have a tiny name. Okay,
All these years of eating carrots, it finally worked out.
Kevin, do you have any guidance as to what makes it identifying or not? I mean, is the ability to match it to an envelope a problem?
Well, yeah.
I mean, because basically it means that we could go back and track who it was.
Can I see them?
You see that, Daniel? Your
I'll-
name's
I'll-
in a
I'll-
state of grace.
Yeah, exactly. We're not gonna ask you what you thought it said. Or at least not on camera. So. I want the record to reflect that I was open to being convinced
Yeah.
by my colleagues who figured this one out long before I did.
My job has to do with Morgan.
Yeah.
Very.
Okay, do you wish to withdraw your motion?
Yes, I wish to withdraw. my motion.
Okay, so Alex's motion is withdrawn. Margie, do you have a motion you would like to make?
Yeah, I reject the ballot due to an identifying one.
Okay, is there a second?
The second one.
All right, any further discussion? Okay, Alex.
Aye.
Margie. Tina, Daniel, and I vote aye.
Wanted to clap, but it's not for
Right? I know, it just feels so bad.
But
It's,
I don't want it to come
Right.
across as.
No,
It's
no,
to the
no,
ballot.
no, no,
Yes.
no.
But Margie.
No, Margie gets credit for figuring that one out, and thank you for that.
I'm seconding this one. I became right behind you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, but it gets separated from the ballot
It
and
makes
you
them
can
miss
still, and you can still pair them up.
yeah,
That kind
Yeah.
of makes it an identifying mark.
right.
Fair.
All right, but now, why wouldn't we be able to say the same thing about initials?
Um,
Now, admittedly, we could end up with more than one ballot,
That's what I was, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
but if we have the batch in front of us,
Yeah. that could be also the way it goes, well.
the whole statute just bugs me, because,
well, we've asked them to change.
yeah,
No one seems interested in doing it. I've asked for clarification of what exactly they think is an identifying mark.
right. You probably haven't gotten that either.
Gotten that either.
Okay, I'm putting my
Thank you.
camera back on.
Okay.
Hopefully we're done with identifying marks, but we'll see.
We'll take a stroll through 0421. So the issue is in Board of Education at large. We should take a look at the whole ballot, see if I've missed something there.
I see nothing on what's now. And I do see that there's an issue in Board of Education at large. Go this way this time. This one.
Looks like arrows with colored pencil.
And the other one looks like it's in pen.
Mhm. This is the last, I don't know, it's pretty long, so it's-
I don't know what to do. Yeah, we got to.
Oh, you're ready.
Yes.
Okay, so floor is open for discussion.
We ever encountered a situation where all the offices were filled in with properly with pen, and one office had an oval filled in completely with pen and another filled in completely with pencil, but no other indication of intent.
I don't know if we've had exactly this, but we've definitely had situations where people had markings in more than one place, and we've decided that one marking was the intended vote. Based on how full it was, or or where's that effect? I mean, I think it's a vote for Rita Montoya. Because of the use of pen, on every other ballot that they voted. There's some ballots that they did not vote. This one,
Yeah, but with pen is on top of pencil, I didn't
Oh,
notice.
like, a pen and paper.
Oh,
you
they-
think?
Yeah.
Well, that one looks like it's pen on top of pencil.
Right here. Right here.
Huh. So it's also possible that they put their pen on the wrong one.
Is it? But is it also possible that?
No.
Take that back.
There is no other vote that is exactly like that one on this ballot.
Just maybe that, I don't know who supervised this ballot, but is it possible maybe someone had started coloring it in and then came to back and took back a decision that this person actually did one over the other? Like maybe we started coloring it in.
Okay. Well, I guess the question is, do we consider the light pencil to be a vote or not? Because the black pen, and the instructions do not say, we want the instructions to say use black pen, but the instructions do not say use black pen. They just say you must blacken the oval completely. Now, I don't know whether when you use pencil, whether that's blackening, but I guess you'd argue that it is.
So I would say because of the distinct impression on one over the other. And that also kind of matches with the others as well, the other races and for ballot questions. I would say that's a vote for leader.
How does it match with the other races?
They're all in black pen. This is black pen, this is black pen, this is black pen. All of these have black pen. This is the only marking on this ballot that does not, and they have black pen on another marking. Is that essentially the point you're making? So are folks ready to have a motion or? Okay,
Mr. President, I
Tina,
move that for the contest of Board of Education at large, the vote be for Rita Montoya.
okay, it's moved by Keena, seconded by Daniel. Any further discussion? Okay, Daniel, Keena, Alex, Margie, I will vote aye as well.
Oh, I remember. Okay. Okay. I referred it. So
I love ballot.
this is in 10:02. It's a large ballot generally requested by those individuals or voters that are vision issues. You're gonna see that there are 2 page ones backwards and but they have been filled out differently.
Oh, no.
First, page one is the same. You compare them. Then you look on the back of page one and they're different.
Well, they're not directly contradictory. They have filled out some and not others. And there's only one page too? Okay, so just to speed things along here. So they have cast the same vote on both page ones for president, senate, and Congress.
Right.
On the back of page one, they voted for none of the judges on one and all 4 of the judges on the other. They did not vote for yes or no on Judge Albright on one. They voted yes on the other. They voted yes for Judge Arthur on both of them. They did not vote for the appellate court judge or the at-large school board on both of them. They voted for Natalie Zimmerman for District 2 on one of them and left it blank on the other one. So there's no contradictory votes, but there are some non-votes. And then on the second page,
Well, a non-voted vote are contradictory.
well, I guess, yes,
Yeah.
but they're not, we don't have an issue where they voted for different candidates. We have the issue between whether they voted or they didn't. And then, yes, and then they, and then they voted page 2 in normal fashion. So I guess the first question that we should ask is, do we want to make an effort to combine the two, or do we want to simply say that where they are consistent, we will accept the votes, and where they're not consistent, we don't know what they intended? Because I think that's really, you know,
Now, could keep in mind, if they return multiple ballots in the same envelope,
That's what I was
you
thinking.
would reject the ballot.
well, that's true.
Oh, you would reject it entirely?
Are these the ballots that the board provides? It's not a print at home ballot.
No, I think we print them out, but I can confirm them.
If you print it out, it means they got 2 separate ballots.
From us.
from us.
Ah.
Yeah. Hey, Michelle.
It wasn't that they duplicated their own.
Ah, that would be bad.
Michelle.
Good point.
Both of them printed too, they're not.
See, it's an invitation from the board to send us a you pick 'em.
Oh,
Oh, it does.
Those are this one. So this means that's our large print ballots.
so if somebody has 2 of page 1, that's on us.
Or it was a husband and wife. I don't know who else is at that household that would have gotten, because usually when it's one, they both get the same thing. I don't know. I would have to go and research to find out if it's a husband or wife. I have no idea.
So if it were, then it's possible that we have another envelope that has no page 1.
True. And we've seen some that have come through with no page ones, but it wasn't in this batch.
So do you all want to defer ruling on this? Can you get more information?
Can we? Let's defer, because if it turns out we find a spouse without a page, yeah, then we have potentially a different question.
And
You-
Michelle
you
can
comfortable
research
with that?
whether someone else. Validated voter. Why don't we have Michelle research whether someone else would have gotten the large ballot at that residence?
Yes, yes, that's good. So we'll punt for now.
Okay, that's interesting. Let me give that to.
If I may, follow questions that, let's say we do find out that that person is missing their page room. How would we be able to identify it then?
We would just count it. They both get voter credit for returning
Okay,
any part of it. It really doesn't make a difference.
Right, we would just count them both.
okay,
Yeah, we just count them.
Well, if we were to so decide, but that would be the solution,
Yes,
is to, we'd either count them both, or we would say, nope, you put them both in the same envelope, you lose.
We'll count them both
Well-
without knowing which ballot belonged to which person.
Correct.
okay, okay.
Correct. We would not, because, but we would surmise that what happened was essentially an error by the voter of which envelope they stuffed. But, and admittedly, that's not necessarily what happened. It's also possible one spouse says to the other, hey, you vote this for me, so, I mean, who knows, but I'm telling you, there's so many permutations, there's always something new. There's always something new. Of course, I've been on the board long enough now that I can't remember what I don't remember, right? So if this happened before, I certainly don't remember it happening, but maybe it did. And excellent question, Margie,
Yeah.
about whether we sent it versus they did it. Hi, how you doing?
So I went to sign for, but like I tried contacting the recruiter.
When you say sign up, meaning you wanted to sign up as a judge for early voting?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we can find you someone to talk to about that. Yeah. Hang on. If you would go to the table in that corner. Okay, thank you. You think Kevin's done without telling us?
No.
I don't see anything more here. Is there more?
No.
Okay, we stand adjourned
Thank you.
until next time.
Yes, all the more reason for me to let you go there. Okay.
I'll have like reading last.
I'm just gonna make a suggestion. Especially if, since we don't have an occasion member of our board, you know, we did end up, you know, without it.
Yes.
But be amazed.
Thanks for the whole. Yeah.
Diane and I were in this room. Sitting there today, agreeing with each other. And a member of the Central Committee, heard it, and the biggest stuff was these survey. You know, and so, and that means, of course. So. No. People's tolerance to all this stuff. Part of Sorry.
Well, especially when numbers are.
Yes. One word out, I think I send the balance. Well, there's only two. Box 5. We're live reporting from the world. You know.
Maybe standing outside, you can finish.
I didn't see that one.
I just walked out for it, and so it was probably around there.
Did,
No, I only saw her. I don't know if you even know.
Want the opportunity for Spanish language interview. Because obviously, if your Spanish is like, a hard time for not being good enough, or they can be happy that you, or they can be happy.
In my head, I.
Let me know if that changes. If you want to do it, I would want you to have that. I will say, he's more than willing to. I've had to work very hard to get the idea across that the board members should be doing interviews. Not all. And
Thank you. See you later. Nice. Yes.
everybody get a chance to sign. Today was me.
Yes, but usually I kind of.
A sign maybe that I had too much caffeine.
Yeah.
Or listen to that tomorrow.
Oh,
We'll see if I'm up on that. What do you need? It depends when you need.
When they're closing, they're gonna get us. Last night, we had to make sure we're. Talk to the gentleman here in the white shirt. Okay, you all learned. So all the supervisors.
One question?
Okay.
Okay.
For that, okay, class.
I mean, is there a place you know to go? If there's a you don't want to go, ideally, you should pay a geographic area. And probably geographic. For these type of
Still have the same.
I see what you're saying. At the same time. I remember we had a whole discussion about when to have it. I will, I'll like. The same way I did before, which was from these from. Probably should have. But as far as, do you have a specific places you want to go?
That day.
Say again?
So I'll be doing that.
You'll be working.
So I will still do this. But
You have no choice in the matter. Can we claim it? Can we start? Because I think you get more than read. No. So the work people insist that they do. You were on vacation, would they call you? If you were in the hospital. Yeah, I realize the job is different. When I was at DOJ, I got called on vacation. When I was at HHS, it acted like I was on this place. And I guess my question is, if I wanted. So. Right. And then my question was, you don't have an official. Right. I understand, if someone says that we don't have a system, you know, just take the time we need. To me, that's a red flag. You know, I don't do that as a possible. That basically means I don't have right, I don't have the rules. Now, I had marketing. In jail. So. Right? Right. So, one of those days is testing. And it's somebody, so. Yes. So in other words, that does not buy you a day. It's as if I said a Saturday.
Yeah, so sorry.
But that's all right. Okay, so, well, I think I want to get this. So. Because I might lead you as a full person. So if you're sitting in a school, don't get to the places. Someone else will have to find a very important say, hey, as opposed to you're going to a lot of places. I'm not sure that I'm sure. Surplus. So if you want. So I'm gonna put that. You already have. But I'm also in the category. It's not like more like. Right. You guys done? Okay, which means we're done, right? No, we don't need to be here for everything we put away, right? Just. Just for people with cameras. Okay,
Yeah, good.
I think so.
No more running tables, no spanking.
So speaking of loss, you're gonna find our magnifying glasses, right?
Yeah. So
Because I'm shocked that somebody would take them.
So this is 50 boxes here, we have 80 boxes. So the thing that is prepared. So there must be those some other boxes. Yeah, we should just make some.
Okay, yeah.
If you don't find it, you'll provide one.
Yeah.
They should be the boxes.
Because I don't recall donations from this. So I definitely don't want to upset everybody.
How much?
Yeah, okay.
We get just a few members.
Yeah.
50 boxes, so. Let's go 50 boxes. You look it up.
I know that I was studying the rest of hearing. Goodbye.